Why Karnataka is different from Goa and Manipur. In Karnataka, BJP has emerged as the single largest party, but desperate Congress has dialed JDS to forge a post-poll alliance even before the final results have been announced by the Election Commission. In an unprecedented move, political parties were seen at the governor's door making a beeline to stake claim to form the government. While in Goa, Congress scored just 4 more seats than the BJP, and while the Congress's leadership struggled for days to elect a leader, BJP approached smaller parties and formed the government. The Congress did not stake claim. That's the key difference. The BJP cobbled together a coalition and staked claim. Over to Manipur, where while the Congress failed to secure support from regional parties, the BJP was extended support from the regional satraps. Not just this, Congress divided house led to the grand old party even failing to approach the governor and stake a claim to form the government. And this brings me to my legitimate question tonight. Have the Congress and the JDS undermined the mandate given by the people of Karnataka? That's the legitimate question on the News Hour tonight. And today, we look for legal answers to questions that will have constitutional ramifications. And joining me on News Hour Direct is former Solicitor General Harish Salve. Mr. Salve, good evening and thank you very much for joining me live on the News Hour tonight from London. Mr. Salve, many are drawing a comparison between what's happened in Karnataka and how the Congress and JDS have got together to go and present their credentials to the governor tonight, and comparing it to what the BJP did in Goa and Manipur. Do you see any parallels between the two?
Well, see, I said this on the other channel. Karnataka is a large state, and the figures are significantly different. It's not 1 plus 1 minus. The default has to be the single largest party. But the governor has to meet others if they want to meet him. Now, if there is, and I just heard on your channel that Congress is offering unconditional support, that is very different from Congress joining the government. If Congress is happy to have a party half its size lead the government and be as junior partners, and if that's that's the price they are willing to pay to be in power, well, I suppose that's what Indian democracy will have to live with. You know, democracy, Navika, increasingly we find our constitution and democracy are fragile virtues. If we are willing to forsake basic constitutional morality, the letter of the constitution sometimes proves insufficient. So if these two parties join up and say, okay, we will form the government, and a party of 78 says, I'm happy to have a party of 35 lead. Well, I suppose and if that's the firm position, then the governor may have to consider that problem also.
But Mr. Harish Salve, the SR Boma judgment actually lays down the rules for this. It is the single largest party that has to be invited. The BJP says that in the Goa and the Manipur situations, it was the Congress party which could not cobble together a coalition and therefore did not stake claim despite being the single largest party. The Congress, on the other hand, alleges that because they are the single largest party, they should just be invited. Mr. Salve, I want to understand from you, and our viewers want to understand, is this by invitation only, or is staking claim a prerequisite for being invited by the governor?
Well, the governor normally invites the single largest party, but where the difference is of 1 or 2, and before the governor can make up his mind, somebody else goes and stakes a claim the other person is found wanting, the governor can consider. There are no hidebound rules on how the governor is to function. It's all a matter of constitutional propriety. If there is a party which is a clean majority like the BJP does, a clean head start as the BJP does, but falls short of an absolute majority, and they go to the governor and say, you must consider us, it is something he has to consider. If the other two go and say, we are forming a government jointly and not support, jointly. That is something he will have to consider, and it's going to be a difficult choice for the governor. And we also have the Bommai rule, which I don't think we have departed from it once or twice. It should never be departed from. Within a very short period of time, whoever is sworn in has to be given the mandate to prove his majority on the floor of the House. Because majorities ultimately are proved on the floor of the House, not on the floors of the governor's house, much less in the courtrooms of the court. So these are principles which we have to adhere to. It's a very difficult choice for the governor, and I hope he is guided by a larger wisdom and is able to find the way out of this piquant situation. I cannot resist saying now, because I'm reminded of 1989, where Rajiv Gandhi headed the single largest Congress party and said, we have lost the mandate to govern. We have to let somebody else govern. And the government did not last. Congress came back to power in 91. And I suppose those days have gone.
Well, yes, those moralities are gone. Mr. Harish Salve, my last question to you. If you were to advise the governor on what to do, what would your advice be?
Wait and watch.
Are you advising?
No, I'm not. I'm sitting at a safe distance from the governor's house.
Yes, we know you're in London, but Mr. Harish Salve, don't run away. Please, for once, don't charge for your advice. Just give the advice.
No, I don't. It's not a question of charging. I'm sure the governor has advisors there who he will consult and come to the right conclusion.
Well, on that note, thank you, Mr. Harish Salve. But you've said it all. Morality and the fact that governments in the past, led by Rajiv Gandhi, said when they had lost the mandate that they would sit in the opposition. Have those times gone away? Thank you very much, Mr. Harish Salve, for joining me on the News Hour.